master plan. So get your notebooks ready. Sorry for the technical difficulties. You guys maxed out the Zoom today with your energy when I opened up the lines. So that's a good thing because it's a new month, you guys. Brand new month. We're officially after the halfway point of 2018. You want to write that in your notes. You came out at halftime. The first 6 months were January through June. We're in July now. We're in the third quarter of 2018. So how you come out of the blocks right now of halftime is everything, right? You set the pace for the whole second half of the year. So get ready. We're going to be listening to Tony Robbins, and we're going to begin some live shares after. So definitely get your notebooks ready. Without further ado, my man, Tony Robbins.
He was an underground parking attendant, and he would take people's ticket. Not about the value of your.
Kick it off with rule number 1, retool yourself.
I always tell people the most valuable lesson I got from my mentor, Jim Rohn, was I asked my father, worked 2 jobs. We were always broke. We had no money for food. And we lived in a community we moved to, which was, I thought they were all rich and we were on the other side of the tracks. It was lower middle class, but compared to where we lived before, these people seem rich compared to us. And I just didn't understand it. And Jim said to me, Tony, it's not about the value of your soul. It's about the value of you in the marketplace. Mm-hmm. And your father's skills are not that valuable. He was an underground parking attendant, and he would take people's ticket and make change. Well, the research now shows it's being done at Yale, it's being done overseas in England as well, and they found that 40% of all jobs they project in the next 10 years are going to disappear because of technology. It's going to be replaced by an algorithm, it's going to be changed. You know, all these guys on Wall Street, you're seeing all these algorithms take over and they're getting rid of all these traders, right? It's changing radically in these hedge funds. There's 3 million truck drivers. Self-driving cars are here. In the next 5 years, they will be the standard, certainly within 7 or 8 years. Are you going to hire someone who can only work 8 hours a day and sometimes gets drunk or can make a mistake when you can buy a machine, write down the machine, and be in a position where it works 24 hours a day driving? But no one is telling these drivers this, and they have to retool now. So technology is the biggest challenge. Labor is less valuable because of efficiencies with technology, and it's going to get better and better for technology, which is scary when you think about what's going to happen for jobs. So I say to people, you've got to participate in your own rescue. You've got to retool yourself. The idea that Bernie Sanders has of providing free education sounds wonderful, but the education he wants to do is community college. There are no skill sets in community colleges today, for the most part, that are going to prepare you for the economy or a job that's there. So what is that going to do? You're just going to waste more money, more time. We need to retool ourselves. The government's not going to do it for you.
Rule number 2, discipline your mind.
These thoughts that we have, we think they're our thoughts, so it makes it really hard to change them. When people meditate and try to not think thoughts, show me somebody that's done that successfully, consistently. They're full of shit. Right? Everybody, the mind thinks thoughts. But here's the distinction. If I told you 100 years ago we were going to fly to the moon and back, you would have called me a lunatic. That's where the term comes from. And people still use it, and it doesn't make any sense because a lunatic is somebody who thought we'd go to the moon and back and we've done it, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. That's where it comes from. But if I would have told you 100 years ago that there's going to be a box in your pocket and you're going to pull this thing out, you're going to hit a couple buttons, and then it's going to capture invisible waves that are drifting around the earth and bring the waves in, and you're going to see somebody on the other side of the earth and you're going to talk to them, you're totally nuts. Thoughts are those invisible waves. And when you use your body in a certain way, if I sit like this, I'm going to tap into a different channel of those waves than if I'm sitting like this. Kind of like a TV set. If I turn one channel, it might be a comedy channel. I'm going to see a lot of laughter. Turn another one, it's a horror channel. Turn another channel, it's a romance channel. This is what changes which of those waves you touch in. So if you can start to realize that your thoughts that you think are your thoughts, there's nothing unique about your thoughts. They've been around for thousands of years. You're just tapping into them because of what you're doing with your body that makes you either fearful or passionate or courageous or whatever you're feeling. As you go in those states, you get different thoughts. So what I want people to see is that learn how to just see those thoughts go by. Learn how to be entertained by those thoughts. Because I have crazy thoughts, but what I've gotten good at is going, look at that crazy thought. That's not me, that's the mind. Not your mind, because if it's you, how do you change you? Pretty hard. But I really truly know I haven't heard a thought come out of you that's original. You've called them your thoughts, but they're not. You've stolen them. They've been around forever. When you see that, it's easier to let go of them. And letting go of those thoughts is one of the ways that you free yourself. And again, the more you do it, just like a muscle, you get better and better and better. And all of a sudden, the shit that used to make you crazy or stressed out, I'm like, how many things have you worried about that never came to be. And some people, their life is good, so they worry about other people, so they're never not worried, right? So it's really just a pattern. If you want wealth, real wealth is not just money, it's emotion. It's like, what are we really after in money? You don't want money, you don't want pieces of paper with the pictures of deceased notables on it. You want what you think money will give you. You think it'll give you freedom or security or stability or love. It won't give you love, it'll get you sex, it won't get you love. Money won't, right? So really what you're after is the emotion. And so what I want people to get is the emotion they want now, and all it is a new habit. It's learning to discipline this mind, right? By realizing the mind thoughts are out there and letting them float by and constantly coming back to what can I love about this? What can I appreciate? It's like, if you can learn to love or at least appreciate, start to enjoy the things that you used to get upset about, how much freedom would you have? How much more joy you'd have? And I know people who got billions of dollars, I've coached them, who is like, holy shit, they live in scarcity all the time. One man, I'll never forget, he's screaming at his wife. I'm in the meeting, I'm in the house, and he's screaming at his wife because she spent some money on a bunch of outfits and stuff like that. And he's a multi-billionaire. He couldn't spend all his money in his lifetime, and then he's totally upset at his daughters in her 20s who spent some money too. And I'm like, I pulled him aside afterwards and I said, what do you do this for? And what do you do it for? And he's like, well, it's the principal thing. I said, no, the principal thing is, do you love these people and do you want them to have an abundant life when you don't have one loss, but you live like you're poor, And it's like, I finally got through to him. But so many people, that's why I say money doesn't change you. Money magnifies who you are. So you want to expand the depth of who you are and free yourself from suffering by just knowing it's a pattern of thought, and you can change the pattern of thought.
Rule number 3, learn to execute.
You get on an airplane, what's the first thing they say? If we get into trouble, mask will come down, oxygen's there, and the first thing you got to do is put it on your kid, right? No, why? Who do they tell you to put it on? Yourself, you selfish bastard. What's the deal here, right? But it's because if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of them. So for leaders, what I always tell them is, it's you first. It starts with you, and it starts with your psychology. 80% of growing a business, if you look at what the chokehold is on a business, it's always the leader, and 80% of that chokehold is the psychology, 20% is the mechanics. I mean, people in this room know the mechanics and strategies beyond what anybody on earth knows in their category. So it's really about you being in the state where you execute. It's like I always tell people, knowledge is not power, it's total BS. Knowledge is potential power. Execution trumps knowledge every day of the week, and so my life is, how do you get yourself to execute? And execution comes from learning to put yourself in that right state every day.
Rule number 4, master the skill of influence.
I believe that leadership is really a skill of influence. It is the most important skill that any human being can master. And I don't think of leadership as a position. I see it as a skill, a tool that all of us have to have. In other words, the quality of your life, I really believe, comes down to your level of leadership. Other people don't have to follow you to be a leader, but you have to live life on your terms. And the first person you have to influence is yourself. Whether you're fit or fat, whether your kids are on drugs or not, is who has more influence, the guy on the street corner or you. Whether you're fit or fat is, can you influence your own hands, your own body, your own mind to do what's necessary? So I think to be able to influence the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, and the actions of another human being, that's what leadership is.
Rule number 5, build work-life integration.
I believe in work-life integration. I don't think, and I'm not being disrespectful because I'm saying everybody has a different metaphor. I'm telling you my metaphor. I'm not making somebody wrong who's focused on balance. But to me, if you say balance, it's like, okay, let's use a teeter-totter or a seesaw. Okay, let's balance it. Now that we've done that, how long are we going to stand there balancing this thing before one of us wants to jerk this thing around just to feel alive, right? Yeah. So I really think balance is more about integration for me. It's more about how do I make sure that I feel like the areas of my life, my children, my grandchildren, my health, sports. I got 31 companies, I got 1,200 employees in 7 radically different industries. We do $5 billion a year. I mean, so all these things are going on. How do I do that? Well, I believe that the way I do that is in streaks. I do streaks of unbelievable intensity work, and then I do streaks of let go and be in paradise and enjoy. And so I like running hot. I want to at the end have me climb a new mountain. That's just me. So I'm not saying that's right for other people. I'm saying you got to find what it is. But the idea of balance for most people makes them torture themselves. And I say, for me, if it tortures you, get rid of it. And instead of saying, talk about integration, I asked Mary Callahan Erdos, who's, if you're not familiar with her, she's probably one of, if not the smartest person in the financial world, female. She's head of JP Morgan and manages 2.3 trillion with a T, not a B, $1 trillion worth of money. One of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet. Breaks all the molds on people in the financial business. There's not an ounce of manipulation in her body. I mean, just good soul. And I asked her about the balance thing. You run the biggest bank in the world, right? Trillions of dollars. And she said, Tony, I don't believe in it. And she told me work-life balance. I started laughing. We're completing each other's sentences. She has the same philosophy. But her dad used to take her to work. And he was a financial guy when she was a little girl. She used to have her brother be the secretary. And she took her dad's seat and ran the show. And she said, doing that with my dad, she goes, I loved it. I was a part of his life. I got to be a part of, see that part of his life instead of coming home and me not knowing it. And she said, and that's what she's done with her kids. And at JP Morgan, she leaves and picks her kids up. And she still runs the biggest bank in the world and bills trillions of dollars. So would she say it's balanced? She'd say, no, it's not balanced. It's integrated. She knows when to move into one or the other, right? So that all the parts of her life are rich. Maybe instead of balance, it's a rich life in the areas that matter. Yeah. Right? Rich with your children, rich with your husband or wife, rich with your dear friends, rich with the impact that you want to have, your mission, rich in terms of successful business and or whatever your career is that you really feel a sense of meaning and enjoyment. To me, that's more important than balance. And I think, but I'm a very passionate, crazy son of a bitch, right? So it's like, you know, balance sounds a little boring to me personally. No. If you're tortured by balance, trying to be balanced, like, oh, people, I'm not balanced enough. Give that shit up. Instead, enjoy yourself. Enjoy your children. Enjoy the time. Be where you are right now. That to me is more important than trying to make everything balanced, because that gets you cerebral. It makes you evaluate things. Yeah. The more you evaluate, the less you can actually experience what's here right now.
Rule number 6, give.
All right, that was good.
Need a crappy
there. We're gonna have to say this next 5 for another one. But I'm excited to get some nuggets. Roxy, you ready to give us some nuggets? Today was awesome. So, you guys, I got like a page full of notes. You gotta be listening to. He's hit on so many different things. It's hard for me to choose 1 to 2. But Roxy, what do you got for us? Had to take the hair down for it, so I guess that means it's gonna be serious.
Gotta look cute. Okay, so man, I love Tony Robbins. He's so freaking amazing. So some of mine, I loved how he talked about how 80% of business is psychology and 20% is a mechanics. And like, if you can understand that, like, it is absolutely every single thing, because it's not so much the structure, you guys. Like, there's so many people, for instance, inside of the people that we work with inside of our organization, right? They have the tools, they have the structure, they have absolutely everything that they need in order to be successful, to bring just people in, right? But they still don't take advantage of it, or they're still not reaching their desired goals of what it is that they say they want. Why? Because it's 80% of the psychology, and it's inside of what they believe is possible for themselves. It's all inside of your belief. So whether you believe you can or whether you believe that you can't, you're going to be right. And so if you can really understand that, it's just like, it could take you to so many different levels, because like he said, the biggest thing that you have to work on is yourself. You have to work on your thoughts. So many of us have so many different thoughts for the day. And as soon as there's this thought, you're like, oh yes, I believe it. I believe it. And you keep on going with every single thought as if it's you. Although you're not your thoughts, because if you were your thoughts, how in the world could you be able to observe and be aware that you're having thoughts? So that means that a lot of the thoughts that you're having inside of your head, they're not you. A lot of the thoughts that you're having are things that people have passed on to you, whether it be your mom, your dad, your family, your aunt, your uncle. Like, it's all your teachers. It's every single person that we've encountered throughout our life that's inside our heads. And not only that, but it's also TV, television and programming and things like that, all of that. And so the biggest thing that you have to work on, if you so want to like be successful, you have to start working on your thoughts. Every single day, you have to wake up and believe that you can, because remember, like I said, inside of Herbalife, not even only inside of our team, but Herbalife in general, for those that do Herbalife, you have all the tools that you need to be successful. Every single thing. but it's your thoughts and your limiting beliefs. It's what you're thinking every single day. It's your psychology that has to change. And one of the biggest things, like, for instance, we went to one of Tony Robbins' seminars, and one of the things that I remember he taught us, in order for you to change your psychology, how fast can you change it? Like that. Like that. It's not like, well, I'm going to try to have better thoughts. Like, no. You get up, you put some music, and then you just get into this amazing state, whether it is you have to jump, you have to dance, you have to sing, whatever it is, to get you into a high vibrational state of energy versus just thinking about, I'm going to be better next month. Like, don't allow yourself to be that person. Like, stop being average and know that it's all in your mindset. Like, change it. You have the power to change it. Like, being successful is not just for the limited few. However, it is for the people who do choose to believe in themselves and choose in the work that they do, that separates every single person from being successful or not. So.
Absolutely. Rox dropping some fire nuggets today. Okay, girl.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to give you guys a few of the ones I really took away. Number one, you got to retool yourself. He said, you got to start now. So you got to think about it. He was talking about truck drivers. He said there's 5 million truck drivers. Roxy's stepdad is a truck driver. We have some truck drivers on the team. He said there's driverless cars already. So you don't think in 5 to 7 years it's going to be automated truck driving too? So what are all those people going to do for jobs if they don't start retooling themselves right now? And that's not the only industry, you guys. Think about it. At the banks, the tellers. At, serving places, they're not going to just have it drop in through a machine and you pick it up. You got to think about these things, you guys. So what do you say? You got to participate in your own rescue. Because if you don't start to retool yourself, who's going to do it for you? And I'm going to give you a hint. It's probably not just going back to get another degree. Because more letters behind your name or another piece of paper doesn't mean you've learned anything or doesn't mean you've brought more value to the marketplace. Remember, what did he say? Tony Robbins asked Jim Rohn, which was one of his mentors. Jim is also one of our mentors in Herbalife, mentored Mark Hughes, our founder. He said, Jim, man, my dad works hard. He works 2 jobs. Who here knows somebody that works hard? Like, has family members that work hard that aren't doing well? So you got to ask yourself, then hard work isn't the only piece. It's a part of the recipe. It'd be like trying to bake a pie and you only got flour. It's like, of course, flour is in the recipe, but that's not it. So you got to understand it's smart work too. He asked Jim, he's like, my dad works 2 jobs. Why are we always struggling? He said, because your dad is not valuable. He's like, what? No, my dad's a good guy. He works hard. He said, no, I didn't say has a valuable soul and valuable as a human being. I said he's not valuable in the marketplace. Because guess what? He just takes the change from the parking lot and gives it to the person driving out. Guess what we have now? Parking lot meters. So you got to ask yourself, okay, if that can be true as a law for the universe that things upgrade, and if I don't upgrade with them, I'm going to be left behind and suffer the consequence, what do I got to do? Let me tell you a little secret. You've got to pursue it. And the biggest teacher is going to be action. And you experience through the action what works. For example, in Herbalife, you get to start your own health and wellness business for $95 to become a distributor. You guys, that's freaking unheard of in the world. That's unheard of that you get to partner with $1 billion company, get to use all the products. They do the formulation, the branding, the shipping, the everything. But this is the biggest thing you get. You get to go out there and work to find out how you get to bring value to the marketplace. You can do fit camps. You can do nutrition clubs. You can do home-based shake parties. You can do wellness evaluations. You can do social media challenge. You can do whatever. But you got to do it. And then you get the experience of it. And through that experience, you become more valuable to the marketplace. Why? Because now you know how to help people. Because hopefully you're working hard, the products work. When they get into people and you support them, you've got client testimonials. You now become a person that knows how to help somebody get healthy. Do you know how much a doctor gets paid for that? Think about that. What does a doctor do? A doctor is supposed to get somebody healthy, right? We don't cure or claim to cure anything, right? But you can have the tool and the skill set of knowing how to get somebody healthy if you work at it. How valuable is that to the marketplace? You can have the tools and skill set. Roxy and I now know how to show somebody how to make money. If somebody came to us right now today and said, I need to make money, and they were willing to do whatever it took, we could show them how to make $100, $200, $300 right now today. We could do that. Why? Because we've done that. And we can teach somebody. So now we also know the skill of how to teach and mentor somebody in business. What skills are you building to retool yourself to bring the value to the marketplace? Because things are going to keep evolving and changing and growing. So that was like my biggest takeaway, because that makes me more excited about this opportunity than ever, you guys. Like what we do in Herbalife, for $95, what people freaking get is ridiculous. I guarantee you guys, one day, this is what's going to happen. There's going to be an article in Time Magazine or a major publication that outlines all the benefits that Herbalife has brought to the community as far as health and wellness and the business development that they provide. And it's going to show, and people are going to be like, are you serious? This is what's been going on? This is the most dope thing in the world. I already see it. But you got to take advantage of it now. Because by that time, a lot of people are going to already be successful. The people that take advantage of it right now, that see it in the seed. I really love that. That was a message from another thing yesterday. But let's get it. I want to get a few takeaways. Give me a thumbs up or a smile if you're excited to share a takeaway. Let's get it. Giovanna, what's up? What's your takeaway? Give us a takeaway.
Oh, man. My takeaway from it would be just, investing in it now, like you said, because it won't be too late for people, but eventually we're going to be ready, and they're going to be like, oh, let me jump on the bandwagon. So we're ready.
There you
I
go.
got my boyfriend right here. He's watching
Okay.
Roxy.
Getting results, getting Houston extravaganza ready. Got her ticket. Let's go.
Got my Prolessa.
You got to tell Bay to come too. Tell him to come with you. Let's get it. That was awesome. Great share, Giovanna. Be ready for when they come. I love it. Let's get another share and takeaway. Mayrita, what do you got, Myra? Give us a takeaway.
What's up, guys? Happy Monday. Man, I love Tony Robbins. And I'm just going to piggyback on what Roxy was talking about, the whole discipline your mind. I feel like that's a huge, block, for myself, to where, you want to believe, that you could achieve certain things, but then it kind of, those thoughts again come into your head, and then it's kind of, push you back, right? So, I remember when we went to the Tony Robbins, he had us do an exercise where, we were going to go to approach a stranger, and he's like, pretend like it's your lost friend that, you haven't seen in years. And how are you going to, what's going to be your how are you going to, oh my gosh, what's the word? Just, pretend. So then he's like, okay, ready, set, go. So it's you had to go and tell yourself, okay. So everybody was hugging each other, total strangers, everybody jumping up and down. And it's crazy because we told ourselves okay, this is what we're going to do. So it gave me so much clear vision of how powerful our minds are. And if we actually just sit down and talk to ourselves about all the possibilities that, and the things that we could achieve, it's possible. We literally have control 100% of our mind. So that was super powerful for me. It was an amazing video. Thank you so much for sharing.
You got it. Amazing stuff. I love it. I love it. Let's get one more takeaway. My man Blair in the Bahamas International. You guys, Triple M is international. Blair, give us your biggest takeaway. Let me see if it took you off mute. See if you can come off mute. There we go. Go ahead, Blair. Here, hold on. Ah, man, my bad. I keep unmuting you and then muting you. All right, Blair, hit us with it. Can you hear us? I lost him on the thing. All right, Blair, go ahead. Hold on, we can't hear you. Are your headphones on or something? You might have it on Bluetooth. Let me see. We can't hear you, bro. All right, go ahead and type it in the chat, and I'm gonna hit you. All right. Let me get one more takeaway. I want to hear one more fire takeaway. Let's get it. Let's hear from Steph. What you got, Steph? Give us a takeaway. Always serious with the notes. I love the note taking.
Well, definitely you guys have pretty much said it all, but I would definitely say, yeah, you just have to be disciplined and just know where you're going, know what your intentions are, and everything like that. My internet was kind of cutting in and out, so I had to leave the chat and come back in, so I didn't get to hear it all. But just go, start every single day with the intention that you are going to be successful. Tell yourself the very first time you wake up that you're like, okay, well, I'm going to go out and I'm going to go get it. So on my posts and everything, I'm always posting motivational, inspirational things. And you'll see on my story, I'm always taking pictures from Triple M, and everybody sees it and they're like, what's that? So, I mean, they do watch every single thing that you do. And the fact that you are disciplined and just, grabbing a hold of this opportunity and just running way far away with it, people are noticing, they're seeing that. And I'm actually having more people be like, okay, so you got to tell me some more about this. So it's awesome. And Tony Robbins is amazing.
Love it. Absolutely. People are watching. Share everything, and your consistency will pay off, and they will be ready. So fire it up. Keep sharing, you guys. It's going to be an amazing July. You guys, this month we've got our extravaganza. Let me see. Give me a hands up if you're going to Houston Extravaganza, Herbalife distributor. We got so many people going. Fired up. It's about to go down, you guys. You guys, I'm so excited. It's Monday. It's a new month. Best opportunity to restart, refresh, take these nuggets into action. You got to do something with them. You got to do something with them. And it starts with sharing what you got to your social media friends and family, to your client thread or to your team thread, whatever it is. Don't leave them with you, because when you share them, the way the universe is set up, what you share, you receive. It's just how it is. When you give, you get. It's how it is. So share, 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 and let's have a great, great week. I'm going to take everybody off mute, y'all. Get it.
Yay! Let's go! Fire me up!
Time to get it, y'all. I'm fired up for this week. Peace out.
Give me two.